At this point in our business, we usually buy gear to meet a specific need, whether it's an extra camera for a new angle or a lens for a different focal length. But it's not often that we come across a piece of equipment that dramatically improves our workflow. Well, today, we did. And it's all thanks to the Cine VM-VP4 V-mount battery plate. Before I get into why this little piece of gear has been a game changer, let's talk about the problem we were facing. Our Sony A7S III plays two key roles in our kit. First, it's our B-cam to the FX6. Since the A7S III and FX6 share nearly identical sensors and dual ISO capabilities, they work perfectly together in interview and B-roll scenarios. But the A7S III also has a second role. It's our gimbal workhorse. Paired with a Ronin RS3 and a 24 to 70mm zoom lens, it's lightweight, easy to balance, and comfortable to operate for long shoots. Now, because of this dual role, we never fully rig it out. And that led to two major pain points. The first is that we would constantly swapping tripod plates. Every time we needed to switch between the gimbal and a tripod, we had to remove the Ronin compatible plate and replace it with a Manfrotto one. I'm sure many of you have been in that scenario when switching a tripod plate and it's tedious and slows you down. And the second being terrible battery life. We all know that Sony's new generation of cameras have decent battery life, but when shooting for more than an hour, you have to swap the batteries. Meanwhile, our A7IV was rigged with a base plate rails and a V-mount battery plate, and it could be power all day. Now, we could have built a rig for the A7S III. We could have built the same thing that this Cine plate is. But with all the added components, sourcing and making sure compatibility works, and the added cost for that, right? And just adding it to the kit, having a space for all of those things, wasn't really worth our time. But that is where the Cine VM-VP4 comes in. Now for us, this V-mount plate does two key things. The first being it has a built-in Arca Swiss quick release, which means we can keep the Ronin Arca plate attached to the A7S III and seamlessly switch between the gimbal and a tripod with no more plate swapping. The second key thing is that it provides external power. With 3 DTAP ports and a USB-C, we can run a DTAP to Sony dummy battery straight from a V-mount on the back of the plate, and it powers the camera all day long without having to change the battery. And lastly, the best part is this was just $109. At the end of the day, this small, affordable piece of kit solved two of our biggest workflow issues: faster transitions between setups and all-day power without needing a bulky rig or big investment. If you're in a similar situation where your camera needs to move between a gimbal and a tripod quickly, this might be the answer for you. I'm not saying it's gonna work for everybody because it doesn't power us when we're on the gimbal. We still have to swap back to the Sony batteries. But if you're doing a long shoot and then need to switch to B-roll in a pretty quick manner, this is the plate for you. Have you found yourself in a situation where you had to swap between plates for different rigs on a shoot? Or do you have a better power solution than the Cine? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to follow our journey and learn with us as we figure out how to run our own video production company, be sure to subscribe.